Do you remember when GPU crypto mining was still super profitable and you could pay off your house, a car, or a student loan in like a week with your GTX 1060? Okay, so maybe not your student loans. You've got that for life. Get used to it. But still, mining was a stupendously profitable thing to do not too long ago. And even though that profitability has fallen dramatically over the last few months, it's still a pretty fun and easy way to earn some sweet passive income, which is why GPU stock numbers still haven't fully returned to normal and prices are still higher than the amount of hate mail we get from gamers. But there's a light on the horizon, and an especially bright beam might just come in the form of a mining-only GPU from the green team, if a recent tip to crypto mining blog is to be believed. The GPU in question is Nvidia's P102-100, and it was almost fully detailed by the tipster, including all of the card's designs, all of its juicy specifications, and even some pretty dang impressive mining performance numbers. Oh, I'm getting all hot and bothered talking about it. This isn't the first time that we've seen Nvidia GPUs adapted specifically for mining. We've had the P106, which is the GTX 1060 mining card. We've had the P104, which is the GTX 1070 equivalent card, and they've been out for a while now. And AMD also has a few mining tuned cards up its sleeve, but other than certain models of the P104 cards, which have been shown to manage phenomenal hash rates of 40 megahash per second and above on Ethereum, the mining specific cards usually come with far too many drawbacks to consider buying over regular cards. Luckily, this latest GPU looks to follow in the P104's footsteps. According to the tip, the P102-100 looks to be a slightly neutered version of Nvidia's burly 1080 Ti. The GPU features 3200 cores to the 1080 Ti's 3584, has a base clock equal to the 1080 Ti's boost clock, the same GDDR5X memory, clocked at 11 gigabits per second, a lower 320-bit memory interface with reduced 400 gigabyte per second bandwidth, and about the same TDP of 250 watts. The P102 also dumps more than half of the 1080 Ti's memory capacity, curiously making it a 5 gigabyte card, and only features bus support for PCI Express Gen 1 by 4. This specific P102, while packing Inno3D's Twin X2 cooler, doesn't feature any I/O configurations and also does away with the mounting bracket used to, well, you mount the card in a gaming or mining rig. The listing did apparently state that the bracket would be made available as an accessory though, so that's something, I guess. Okay, so barring the higher core clock speed, the P102 is a far inferior card to the regular 1080 Ti specs-wise, so you wouldn't expect it to be all that much better of a miner. But here's the thing. If the posting does turn out to be legit, it totally could be a better miner. As mentioned earlier, the tipster also revealed the card's mining results for 3 of the most prolific cryptocurrencies doing the rounds right now, namely Ethereum, Zcash, and XMR. And there's a lot to be excited about. Mining Ethereum, the manufacturer claims the card should be able to hash about 47 megahashes per second, which is insanely high compared to the regular 1080 Ti's average hash rate of around 37 megahash, and beats Vega just pieces, snot. I wanted to say beats it to snot. That makes sense. I have to sneeze. Claimed hash rates for Zcash and XMR, while still impressive, were a little less so than with Ethereum, coming in at 660 sol per second and 879 hashes per second, respectively. Respect that. Comparatively, my dedicated licking card, also known as the 1080 Ti Hall of Fame, can rake in around 760 sol on Zcash and around 780 hashes per second on XMR with some optimization. It wasn't clear whether the hash rates claimed were taken while the card was running on stock or overclock settings, which means the card may be capable of pushing out even higher numbers, which would just be phenomenal, or lower too, I guess, you negative Nancy. It could be that they just pushed it to its absolute limits and what we're gonna get shipped with is crap. Anyways, that means the P102-100 is significantly better at mining memory-intensive algorithms than an actual 1080 Ti, so what gives? Why would a card with significantly worse specs perform better than a 1080 Ti at mining these algorithms? Well, why does an RX 570 outclass a GTX 1060 in Ethereum algorithms? Why do other good mining cards perform better than their their gaming equivalents. It comes down to various reasons, including firmware, architecture optimizations, and other things like alternate memory structures with heavily optimized timings. And if these numbers are right, the P102 is heavily optimized for memory-intensive algorithms, making that Ethereum hash rate possible. I mean, 47, you can't, like, geez, holy smokes. So, done deal, right? With those hash rates, the P102 is one of the best cards you can get for mining, and miners should jump on them as soon as they become available. Well, actually, it's not quite that simple. Sure, it does sound perfect for the purpose, but since it is a mining card, we can expect it to share many of the same drawbacks of previous mining-specific cards that we've seen so far. So firstly, we can almost guarantee that the card will ship with a far shorter warranty period than gaming cards, around 3 months if we were to guess. This move makes as much sense now as it did for all of the other mining cards. They're being put through their paces 24 hours a day, usually overclocked, with no downtime and high heat output. That just means that they have a higher likelihood of failure. It's just how it goes. Manufacturers lose money when they need to replace your broken parts, so mitigating that cost a little is fair enough, although the short period just makes it worse for people who are buying it. Another major factor to take into account is the card's lack of I/O, which makes it essentially useless to gamers in the second-hand market and reducing its resellability dramatically. And then lastly, and most importantly, whether miners do decide to pick up the P102 over a full gaming card will depend entirely on price. If this thing is priced right, it could see widespread adoption by bigger mining operations, leaving more gaming cards for the rest of us. Although it would only be 1080 Ti's because it's a P102 anyways, or it could trickle on down, who knows. If, however, they're priced at or around or just slightly below the price of a full 1080 Ti, we don't really see anything changing. A gaming card with a full warranty that mines coins other than Ethereum almost as well as the mining card is still the better investment if they're priced about the same. You have a greater floor. You can pay it off by selling it off if mining dies. It's collateral. But we can't get into everything until the pricing is revealed. We're just kind of speculating and waving hands at this point. And even once we have official pricing data, we'll likely have to wait till they're sold out to see what the fair market price will be on the open market. Like, just because Bitmain will sell you an Antminer for $1,500 doesn't mean you'll get it for anything less than $2,000 right now if you want an S9. But what we can get into is how the card's launch could be a very good thing for both gamers and miners alike. As we previously mentioned, other than a few notable exceptions, many manufacturers have released mining cards that offer little to no value than to actual miners, just to get in on the mining cash grab. They just released the dang thing and call it Mining Edition, when it actually hasn't. What did you do? You shortened the warranty and friggin' what else? Nothing. For a while, the only thing you got in return for picking up a mining card over a gaming card was a shorter warranty, around the same performance as a regular card, and a slightly reduced price tag. The P102, however, looks to be a different beast. You'll likely still have to deal with a shorter warranty, and it probably won't be the cheapest card around, but it actually offers a much improved hash rate in certain algorithms compared to an almost similarly spec'd gaming card, and considering that they're cutting down on the parts that would be used for gaming but not for mining, because you don't need 11 gigabytes of GDDR5X. Actually, the 1080 Ti didn't need 11 gigabytes of the GDDR5X either. It needed 12 or 10. I don't care. The odd number drives me up a flipping wall. Since you're doing it again, 5. I just realized it's an odd number. Gosh dang it, Nvidia, you annoy the crap out of me. Anyways, they're cutting the VRAM, which could allow it to be built for mining, but then also cut down on the cost, especially with the fact that we know that the RAM on cards is what's been driving up the cost to some extent lately, and this should hopefully mitigate that as well. So I would love to see this card come in priced at about $500 retail, the same price of a 1080. That would be good for me. $600 would be pushing it because the $700 price range is the price of a 1080 Ti brand new. MSRP, of course, if you're picking it up from Nvidia, you can find it for that price. So about $500 to $600 is where I think the sweet spot for this P102 would be. Of course, on the open market, I could see it going for, nearly $1,000 because of its mining performance, supply and demand on the open market. The pricing is kind of all that matters. If the card makes up for its various downfalls by pumping out sick hash rates, it's still a perfect mining card. And if it is, there's little reason for miners to go after gaming cards, helping the GPU market stabilize even more, which could rewind the clock back to a time where you could afford the card you actually wanted. The P102 also shows that manufacturers are actually making a real effort to keep gamers and miners happy, and will hopefully continue to push out cards optimized for gaming as well as for mining. And they certainly have incentive to do so, as it would mean they'd be making more money in the process while also cutting costs on the cards themselves, because you're cutting out the VRAM. Now, as always, grains of salt in all of that. We'll have to wait for an official release to see if the P102 really is the perfect mining card or not. But don't tell anyone we said so, but we think it could totally be that way. At least until Nvidia's next gaming and possibly mining exclusive cards roll around. Oh, an Nvidia 2080 with GDR6 blasting at 100 megahash per second. 'Tis the dream, which obviously is the biggest danger of buying any sort of GPU right now. Nvidia is poised to drop their Ampere or Turing cards at GTC if you listen to specific rumors, which would mean that this GP102 mining card lifespan would basically be over before it started. So this could instead be viewed as a manufacturer's last-ditch effort to purge the remaining inventory of GP102 cores before they start selling the new hot GT2000 pieces of hardware. Alternatively, there's the other rumors that say we're not seeing a new Nvidia GPU until around the July-ish region. So this could be a way of extending sales using the same architecture to bridge the gap until we see Turing in the second half of 2018. It could go either way. There's only hearsay and hot takes going around right now, so it's mostly anyone's guess. We would love it if a single mining card could save the gaming side of the PC market from the toil and heartache they've been experiencing, but it's super suspect that that would or could happen. If the current climate is any indication, there's no amount of GPUs that are enough, mining focused or otherwise. If it can turn a profit, it's worth it for miners to buy enough that they go out of stock for retailers, and we just see inflated prices on those GPUs too. I don't think a mining card is going to stop it from GTX 1080 Ti's being out of stock, because they're still worth it for mining. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to save enough GPUs for gaming would be for there to be a systemic overhaul of architecture to enhance cards for gaming and not for mining. So this has to come from AMD and Nvidia building it into the chips themselves. But there's likely serious complications and bugs that could arise from any company trying to implement that at an architectural level. You get bugs in games that try to use the same processes as mining, and then you just brick everything. Speculation, of course. We're all in a bind though, and while this GPU 102 mining card is definitely helpful, I think it only helps to treat a symptom and not the root cause. But what do you all think? Do you think new mining focused graphics cards are the way to go? Will it give gamers better odds of getting their GPU, or is it a bit like throwing water on an oil fire? Let me know your thoughts either down in the comments or over on Twitter. I'm at UFDisciple. If you're looking to pick up a new graphics card for mining or otherwise, you can use our Amazon affiliate code that's down in the description as a way of supporting our channel when you're buying that next number cruncher without adding a cost to your purchase. It would help us out. Thank you. Anyways, I'm Brett with the UFD Tech channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers. Respect that. Must be this tree. This is the tree that's causing me to sneeze all over. Look at that. Spanish moss everywhere. Just, this tree sucks.